Hello and welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Thelma Okoro. There seems to be no end to the deadly communal killings in Benue State, Nigeria's north central. The state's governor, Samuel Ortom, has confirmed the death of 9 indigenous farmers in a renewed attack on several Agati communities by armed herdsmen dislodged by security forces. The governor also revealed that several villages were burnt in the attack. He says he's working with the neighboring Nasarawa state government to restore peace to the affected communities. President Muhammad Buhari has already ordered an investigation into the clashes between herdsmen and indigenes of communities in Benue State. As of last week, at least 145 persons had been killed in 25 villages in the Agati local government area of Benue State. The Nigerian police force has vowed to rescue 3 female students abducted by unknown gunmen from a school in Ikorodu, Lagos, southwest Nigeria. The students were abducted by heavily armed gunmen on Monday night. The police has already deployed helicopters around the school environment for possible clues which could lead to their release. Assistant Inspector General of Police Zone 2 Command Bala Hassan has also assured the parents of the 3 students that the police will rescue the children. It's not known what the motive of the abductors is, as no demand for the ransom has been made yet. The underage girl who was abducted and married by a Kano-based man identified simply as Yunusa has regained her freedom and reunited with her mother. Eseru was freed Monday and arrived in Abuja, where she was kept in police custody. Yunusa allegedly abducted Ese in her hometown of Bayelsa in the south of Nigeria while he was working there. Family members say he took her away from her mother's shop in Yanagwa in 2015 to Kano State, where he married her and forced her to change her religion to Islam. Since news of her story broke, Nigerians have condemned the abduction and forceful marriage, calling on government officials to act accordingly. In Nigeria, the federal law prohibits the marriage of persons that are below 18 years old. However, the states in Nigeria that implement Sharia law do not prohibit child marriage. Ese is 14 years old. Meanwhile, rights group the Muslim Rights Concern MURIC has called on Nigerian authorities to immediately commence the prosecution of Yunusa, the man responsible for the abduction of the teenage girl Eseru from her Bayelsa home. MURIC condemned the action, saying the man must be arrested. Yunusa reportedly married the underage girl and forced her to convert to Islam after the abduction. In a statement issued Tuesday by its executive director, Ishak Akintola, MURIC said Yunusa's action violated the law and caused a Christian family to go through a traumatic period. Akintola said the alleged abductor should be charged to court in Yanagwa, the Bayelsa state capital, and then before a Sharia court in Kano State if it is proven that he had carnal knowledge of the girl. MURIC says it is in no way excited by the girl's purported conversion for lack of due process. Long queues are still a common sight at petrol stations in Nigeria as the government struggles to end the latest round of petrol scarcity to hit Africa's biggest oil exporter. Our correspondent Olayemi Eso went round the commercial city of Lagos and filed this report.
This is what confronts you at virtually every filling station in Lagos: long queues and a struggle at the pump. The situation has caused gridlock on some major roads in the city, with traffic officers having their hands full trying to control traffic. For the past 4 days now, this has been the situation in virtually all the major cities across the country as the sudden scarcity bites harder. The irony is, most motorists just not understand what is responsible for the scarcity.
Despite that, I spent over 3-4 hours here. So it's moving gradually, depend on their own arrangement. But I'm hoping that sooner or later, we'll get a fuel here.
By now, I've been in my shop selling, but I'm here since after 11, and this is after 12. So it's affecting us very seriously.
There is fuel, and even Nigeria is having issues selling the petroleum products that we are producing. So how come we are facing fuel scarcity in this country? And this one is even coming too sudden. We don't really know the problem, why there is no fuel. So my advice is that as they has come sudden, they should quickly find a sudden solution to it also, a quick solution rather.
Nigeria may be Africa's biggest oil producer. It imports over 70% of refined petrol consumed domestically. Oil importers say they have not been able to source foreign exchange to import petrol, leading to the sudden scarcity. Commercial bus drivers have taken advantage of the situation. Fares have now generally gone up. Commenters say the government must act speedily to resolve the issue and bring the situation to normalcy.
Let him help us. We are suffering. A lot of man-hour is being spent because we want to get fuel. Without fuel, you can't fuel your car. Without fuel, you can't fuel power your generator. Without fuel, you can't do many things. So, in fact, please, government, help us, the masses of Nigeria. Let this fuel be available. Fuel has come down, crude oil has come down. It's not by calculation, the fuel have to be supposed to be everywhere, so that all this suffering will end.
I've been seeing a lot of fuel scarcity here and there. The cause of it has not been known yet, but I don't know why was it like that. The present government promised a lot of things to us, and I believe that they too, they are trying their possible best to make sure that things are okay.
The NNPC says it is doing everything to end the scarcity and that normalcy will return in a matter of days. It has brought in more cargoes of fuel imports and has ordered the ramping up of supply to major cities. But experts says local refining remains the only solution to Nigeria's perennial petrol scarcity.
The way forward is for us to still look inwards. If we had been refining internally, right, what will have happened will have been getting the crude oil from the wellhead in Naira. We will refine it in Naira, sell to Nigerians or distribute it to Nigerians in what? In Naira. Nigerians will buy it in Naira. If we have been doing that, then we will free ourselves from exchange rate differentials. But as long as we are not willing to internally domesticate, we are going to suffer from the effect of foreign exchange differentials.
A number of private refinery initiatives are already underway. When they eventually come fully on stream, Nigeria will say goodbye to its consistent headache of fuel scarcity for good. Olayemi Eson, TV360 News.
Still on the fuel scarcity, the NNPC says it has increased truck out to filling stations in Lagos from the regular 245 to 295 trucks per day. A release signed by NNPC spokesman Uhiya Legwe said the body has also partnered with the major oil marketers towards curbing the fuel scarcity situation. He added that truck out to fuel stations in Abuja from Suleja Depot has also been stepped up to 210 trucks per day from the regular supply of 160 trucks. Other states like Port Harcourt, Calabar, Kano and Kaduna have also had their fair share of fuel increment to keep the country well supplied. The Consumer Advocacy Foundation of Nigeria and the Coalition of Nigerian Consumer Protection Associations declared today, March 1st, 2016, a no banking day. The two bodies are asking bank customers across the country not to enter banking halls, make transfers, deposits, or make use of their ATM cards for any transaction throughout the day. According to them, the banking boycott is to protect the charges introduced by the Central Bank of Nigeria. President of the Consumer Advocacy Foundation of Nigeria, Shola Salako, who appeared on our flagship program, TV360, gave reasons why Nigerians must boycott banking services.
Basically, this is like a consumer action to resist excessive bank charges, which millions of consumers are upset about. They don't understand it. They don't know why the banks are charging them the way they're charging them, and nobody's bothering to explain the reasons why suddenly they get a flurry of charges on every transaction they make. So consumers are angry. They don't know who to go to. Not all of them have direct access to the CBN, and so
even you are also affected by these charges.
I am livid, actually, for my own person, because I just don't understand why you would charge for a service that I don't know that I actually enjoyed. And you never explained to me that you are providing me this service at this particular fee. I was never consulted to agree to the scale of charges. You know, when you do banking transactions, you get to know how much the banks are going to charge you after the fact, not before. And that's not fair in any commercial transaction. If I'm going to enter into a transaction with you, I should know these are my liabilities and these are your liabilities. But the banking customer doesn't know the full range of his or her liabilities, so the banks can decide to charge you whatever they like at whenever they like. And I think we need to put a stop to that.
The Federal High Court sitting in Lagos has ordered the government of President Muhammadu Buhari to ensure that all the past presidents of the country fully account for all recovered loots. The suit was filed by the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP. In its judgment, the court held that the governments of former President Olusegun Obasanjo, former President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, and former President Goodluck Jonathan breached the fundamental principles of transparency and accountability by failing to disclose details about the spending of recovered stolen public funds. The Federal High Court in Abuja has ordered the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) to release former President Goodluck Jonathan's aide-de-camp, Colonel Ojogbane Adegbe. Justice Yusuf Halilu, in his ruling, asked the EFCC to release Adegbe on bail on liberal terms pending his arraignment in court for any offense. Before the ruling was delivered, Ogwonoja, counsel to Adegbe, informed the court that the EFCC had transferred his client to a military facility after granting him bail on stringent conditions. Adegbe was arrested in connection with the embezzlement of $2.1 billion meant for the procurement of arms for the war against insurgency. He has been in custody of the Anti-Graft Agency since February 11th for allegedly collecting 10 billion naira from the office of the National Security Advisor.
We informed the court that after the adoption of written addresses on the 25th of February, my client was called and hurriedly granted bail on a very stringent condition to bring two directors of the Federal Ministry and then 250 million naira with two properties in Asokoro and Metama. We informed the court this morning that they granted bail that we could not meet. And the court informed the counsel to the respondent, the EFCC, that whether or not they granted or whether or not the applicant has been released to Nigeria, but that's what happened. They released him to Nigeria hurriedly to overreach the ruling of the court this morning. The information before the court, as of this morning, that the applicant is still in the detention of the EFCC. That will not stop his ruling. So he ruled and granted the applicant bail on a very liberal condition, and also ruled that his right has been breached under Section 10 of the Constitution, that the detention is unlawful and illegal, having exceeded the 48 hours stated by the Constitution. He also stated that the EFCC is not an appendage for the Nigerian Army. The Nigerian Army will now hand over its officials to the EFCC for detention and investigation. He also stated that he also advised the counsel to the EFCC to talk to the management of the EFCC to obey this ruling of the court, and he refused to grant us the request for the prayer for damages and then for also apology, because according to the court, the applicant is still a serving military officer. But I also want to ensure a cordial relationship with continue serving in the army, because you expect my client to be a general. And then the issue now is, now that the court has given this order, we are going to serve the order of the EFCC to release my client. We expect the EFCC to obey the order of this honorable court to release my client from detention, which is now declared unlawful and illegal. And what we are saying basically is that we are in support of the anti-corruption war in this country. But what the court is saying, what everybody is saying, it should be done within the ambit of the law. The EFCC is a creation of the law, and then there are laws and rules and regulations guiding the conduct of EFCC. And most importantly, the Constitution is ground law of this country, which requires that when anybody is arrested and detained, it should not be more than 48 hours. If the EFCC is a creation of the law, it's also bound to obey that law. And then also, we expect EFCC that when an order is given by a court of competent jurisdiction like this High Court, the EFCC should also obey.
The Code of Conduct Tribunal has adjourned the trial of Senate President Bukola Saraki till March 11th. The Senate President was charged before the tribunal to answer to allegations of corruption leveled against him by the Conduct Bureau. He has since pled not guilty to all 13 charges leveled against him, describing them as false and frivolous, adding that the charges were calculated to rubbish him. An appeal to the Supreme Court to stop the trial was thrown out by the judge. Nigeria's Minister of Communications, Adebayo Shitu, has assured that the federal government has no intention to sell the Nigerian Postal Service NIPOST. Shitu said the clarification on the issue of the sale of NIPOST became necessary following insinuations on a purported sale. The minister said rather than sell the agency, the present administration had put in place modalities to ensure its assets were well utilized. Time for a short break. When we come back, we'll look at business and sports stories. Stay tuned.
Hello, you're welcome. You're watching the Funny White Man Show, which is the biggest, the brightest, and the most entertaining show in Africa.
Funny white man, funny white man, funny white man, but this way you talk, it's too much. Give me 5,000 man, that's you. It's too much. So you get it like, when she move along the street, yeah, me should like there, I'm going girl. You know, my own people, actually. Yeah, fine, it's fun. I enjoy it. And I'm one of those very few, I'm forever taking it personal. I will listen 160 million Nigerians are corrupt. How? My brother, I'm looking for you.
Yeah, but it's a growth, and this is the time to build business and know the pitfalls and know what to do and what not to do. But there are months where you get business and months.
You know how we do, how we train them. We did the way you did.
Hello, you're welcome. You're watching Trending Matters on the Funny White Man Show. Of course, we will bring you trending issues just to entertain and tickle your fancy.
Welcome back. You're watching TV360 News now. Nigeria says its concentration is on diversifying the economy by creating more jobs and enabling environment for small-scale industries to thrive. Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment Aisha Abubakar said this while paying a courtesy call to the acting DG of Standard Organization of Nigeria. The minister said the Buhari administration will ensure that emphasis is placed on non-oil revenue products to engage industries to produce quality products that will be of good standard. The head of SON in turn said the organization is prepared to eradicate substandard products in the market. Nigeria Central Bank says the country's dollar reserves fell to 27.8 billion by February 25, 2016. According to the CBN, this shows a 1.6% decline from a month earlier. The data, which was released on Monday, also showed an 11.91% decline from the $31.57 billion recorded earlier. Oil prices rose over 1% on Tuesday, shrugging off a slump in China's manufacturing sector that stirred fears of a slowing demand growth. The markets instead are focusing on a fall in U.S. and OPEC output that might tighten an otherwise bloated market. International benchmark Brent was up 40 cents at $36.97 per barrel, while U.S. crude futures were trading at $34.22 per barrel. Analysts say discussions among major oil producers, including Saudi Arabia and Russia, agreeing to a production freeze are unlikely to reduce a global overhang in supply of oil of over 1 million barrels per day. Candidates bidding for their party's nomination in the U.S. presidential election face their biggest test yet in the Super Tuesday primary polls. 11 states cast votes for candidates from either the Republican or Democratic parties or both in a contest seen as make or break for the hopefuls. The contest stretched from Vermont in the east to Texas and Georgia in the south. Donald Trump leads the Republican field and Hillary Clinton is ahead in the Democratic race. There have been earlier votes in 4 states. Senator Ted Cruz cannot afford to lose to Trump in Texas, which is his home state, while a reverse for Trump in Massachusetts. Clinton is hoping to build on her weekend victory in South Carolina, where she polled heavily among African Americans to restore her stand against Democratic rival Bernie Sanders. America on 8th of November is due to elect a successor to Barack Obama, a Democratic president, standing down after 2 terms in office. Nigerian under-17 captain Kelechi Nwakali has been signed by the Arsenal on a 5-year contract. The player's agent confirmed the deal between the two parties with a £2 million transfer fee paid. Arsenal manager Arsene Wenger had confirmed in January that the club was looking into a deal with Nwakali and his Golden Eagles teammate Samuel Chukwueze. He will be expected to join up with the Arsenal youth side until he turns 18. Abiba Aregawi has been provisionally suspended after testing positive for a banned substance, according to Swedish Athletics Federation. A spokesperson for the federation says Aregawi tested positive in an out-of-competition test conducted by the IAAF. A B sample is expected to be analyzed in due course. Aregawi, who is also the reigning world indoor 1,500-meter champion and European Championship silver medalist, was due to face the world record holder Dibaba in a much-anticipated race over a mile in Stockholm on February 17th, but pulled out, citing a back injury. Well, that's all we have on news now. Thank you very much for watching. I am Thelma Okuru.